All right, we are rolling here at the crib in beautiful Parsippany, New Jersey. It's I think episode 5 of the Juice Giorgio show. And with me to go into the rabbit hole on election eve, the one, the only Tommy G. What's up, buddy?
How's your tits? How's everybody doing? No, I'm just joking. What's up, bro? Big
It's
night,
big night for the Giants, or if you want
apocalypse,
to. Yeah, that too.
eve of the apocalypse.
Yeah. So,
Zombies are coming out tomorrow. Get ready. Antifa, BLM, the movement.
we had so much fun last time. We were just kind of talking about random shit here and there.
We did.
We made a list together of topics to delve into for episode 2, and today we're going to have the laptop view on standby, as you can see.
Hold on. Let's go to where. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, since this is the eve of the apocalypse, I thought we could jump into, let's look at the betting lines.
I mean, because these guys might know a thing or two, the guys that set the odds. So I figure may as well take a look. I mean, I want to go state by state, which is what I'm looking for here. Because last time, this is what I was going to preface this with, was the last general, 2016, the last set of polling came out that Friday. Rasmussen, Quinnipiac, Real Clear Politics, the bullshit, obvious, CNN and all that nonsense, Fox News, all them. So that weekend, my fiance, girlfriend at the time, was away in Chicago. I came home from work that Saturday night. I have nothing really to do I know I'm going to start looking at action for Sunday for the NFL, but I'm like, let me take a look. Because I just had this feeling, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, was it for real? What is this for real? Can this really happen? And then I don't know. I don't know. Intuition, gut. Jones always says, it's in your gut. It's your gut telling you and believe in your gut. God, Lord, Savior, Jesus Christ. But I just had this feeling inside of me. And credit Roger Stone for this too as well. He was on Jones that Friday and he was like, I'm telling you, he's going to win. All the internal polling that we're doing on that side is showing he's going to win. He might not win the popular, but he's going to win the general.
Which means dick, by the
way. Right. So I was like, you know what? Can you actually break these polls down? Like, can you look at them? Can you see who the people who were polled, how many people, where they lived? And you can. You can't get, in detail the exact person's name, but you can see the samples. And I must have looked probably at 10 or 12 polls. And I was like, holy shit, there's the pattern. I see it. It's right there. Anytime the sample size was bigger than 600, in every single swing state, it was Michigan, New Hampshire, Iowa, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, even Nevada. He was either down 2, ahead, or within the margin of error. So basically, he was within the margin of error in every single swing state. And in a lot of them, he was ahead. So I was like, fuck it. Let me see if I can find an offshore book that's taking this action. And at the time, it was this site, bookmaker.eu, and they had action on every single swing state, the general, everything. Now also, when it was looking like he was going to get the nod from the Republican side, you can obviously bet the future. He wins the Republican nomination, he's going to go against Hillary Clinton. He was 14-1 at that time, 15-1, 17-1, went down to 8-1 before the RNC. After the RNC, the line just completely went down to less than 4-1. Now it's, general election time. He's only plus 2.25. So why did that gap close so much? I mean, obviously because he became more and more popular and he had the airtime and his message. But obviously he was making traction somewhere. You know what I mean? So I was fuck it.
And the difference between a bookmaker site and Vegas and your fucking rigged suppression polls is that these guys are actually looking for the truth.
This is what they do, right?
Because they want to make money.
Right, exactly. Their goal is to get 50 guys to bet Hillary and 50 guys to bet Trump, and that's their goal. So they want the truth. They want to make it as true and as accurate as possible.
Right.
But sometimes they're off, and this time they were off. And that time they were off. And this time, I think they're off again.
Now they might be off, but I don't think there's an agenda.
But they can't. They can't give Trump. They can't look if with the perception of the media and everything put out there. If they made Joe Biden plus 160, everybody and their mother would be betting Joe Biden. The risk they would take on, it just doesn't calculate. But last time he was a dog in every single swing state. He was a dog in the general. I said, fuck it. I put, a few dollars in there, a couple $100, and on Wednesday morning, I had like a 370% increase in my bankroll just by betting Donald J. Trump. So this time I wanted to see, I thought it'd be cool to see like what, who's going to win, what the odds are in the swing states. And what I'm looking at right now, though, it's like, obviously Virginia, they're going to hold serve. But let's see.
What a shame that Virginia turned blue.
I know. Like, did you see that number just there? Look at that number. Party to win. No, wait, no, sorry.
I mean, Virginia's one of those states, you look at it county by county, it's like 95% red.
Here it is, right there. Party to win electoral vote for the U.S. presidential election taking place right here in Virginia. The Democrats are 15-1 favorites. Oh, like minus 1467. So you would have to lay $1,467 to get back $100. That's how much of a dog they are in that state. Now, let's see.
It truly is the swamp, right?
Look at Ohio.
That's where everybody lives.
Look at Ohio. Look at this number. Trump is minus 287 in Ohio.
Wow.
That means,
that's huge.
That's huge. Now, let's look at Pennsylvania. Trump, only minus 160, plus 164 in Biden's home state. The Scranton kid. Go vote for the Scranton kid.
The Scranton scrapper.
How about all his new words that he's been coming up with lately? Holy Christ.
I want to know how Kofifi was trending, but whatever he mumbled out of his mouth the other day,
dude,
it was like 8 syllables.
Tim Pool. Look, there's some value bets right there. Just your Tim Pool. He actually broke the word down. He has it. I don't know what it's called, but Tim Pool like literally broke the word down, and he's listened to it like 1,000 times. He's got it.
Tim Pool's been great lately.
Oh, he's on fire.
I mean, I thought when he was like strictly like a
lefty.
Right. I don't want to say full out liberal, but
no. Well, he's a liberal. That's what he is. He's a liberal.
He's like
I also consider myself a liberal.
Thomas Jefferson liberal.
A real liberal, right. He might be a little more progressive. I mean, I'm not at all. Like, he's probably on the side of Medicare for all, which I always say, like, yeah, sure, okay. If we could not have like 1,000 overseas military bases and not spend on the books 1.2, 1.3 trillion on the, a private arms industry,
and not offer it to the whole world,
right? And if you chopped all foreign aid, there's
ways to do it that makes sense.
Yeah, then we can talk about Medicare for all. But right now, no, it's not even.
There's no financial accountability whatsoever.
And you see today, this guy wants to Biden $11 trillion in spending. That would be his.
Where does this money come from?
Where are you getting 11 trillion, dog? We just spent like another 3, in this nonsense with COVID and all that. I want to look at. Hold on one second. North Carolina toss up.
Interesting.
Georgia.
Trump won North Carolina, right, in 2016.
Yeah. Georgia, Trump ahead. Florida, Trump ahead.
Georgia's another tough state that you wouldn't think should be tough.
No, but it is.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because probably Atlanta, Savannah.
They could stuff it up in those spots, man. But look at this, man. Texas, obviously, they're trying to say Texas is in play on. You put on CNN.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
man.
Iowa. Look at that, Trump.
CNN will say any state's in play that's red.
There's some value right there. Trump in New Hampshire, 337 plus 337. I would bet him in Nevada too.
I think Trump did well in New Hampshire.
He did. Wow. He had actually originally they called that. That was the only bet that I lost. They originally gave him New Hampshire, and then they flipped it back after it didn't matter anymore. I guess to try to make it look a little better in the media's eyes. But it flipped back to...
Can we talk about... Now, I don't put any credence into the popular vote whatsoever.
Me
I
either.
think it's bullshit. I don't even know why these keep track of it. But,
It's... I'm trying to figure that out for myself.
But my theory is that I don't even think Hillary won the popular vote.
She didn't. No way. I think that... I say this to everybody. I say that in, 20 years, just like we didn't really know shit about JFK, right away, Mark Lane was able to dig into it in 64 and 65, whatever. But, like, for the most part, you didn't know a lot of this information right away.
Right.
It takes time. And when FOIA requests and stuff can start being declassified from, Jay Johnson's own DHS monitoring of the ballots and all those open cases that all of a sudden disappeared for voter fraud. I don't know why, how, or what happened. But when discovery can be declassified on those, I think you're going to find out, yeah, man, she didn't win no popular vote. He won that too.
And my whole thing is because I'm getting reminded of it now 4 years later, but when like Tim Kaine would go out campaigning, he couldn't even fill up a high school gym, and I'm starting to see the same thing.
Come on.
And Trump is getting these massive crowds of tens of thousands of people.
This guy last night in Miami-Dade County, which a county that
should be blue.
She won by 60,000 or 70,000 votes, something like that in 16. This guy at 11:30 at night. This is after he had already done 2 rallies prior in the day. This is the 3rd rally of the day at a 3rd different state. This guy gets like 11,000 people to show up. Joe Biden cannot even get 100 people. That one in Arizona that he had, they said between staffers and patrons, there was like 75 people at this thing, standing in their circle with their mask on. What are you talking about, bro? What are we talking about? That this guy that doesn't know what day of the week it is, where he's at, he's got Barack pulling him onto the stage. He doesn't even know what he's running for.
Who he's running against.
Who's his opponent? I mean, seriously.
I've said this a million times on all my different shows, but how are you not in a fucking cult if you vote for this guy?
Seriously. I was going to begin to tell you this story out, right before we started, but so, somebody I know very well, they work for one of these criminal organizations, one of these media outlets, and they were in charge. They, while in their employment there, they, when the Billy Bush tape came out.
The Billy Bush tape.
Right? They had access to the tape, and they were giving it to all these other,
so conveniently
groups.
Sat on that.
Right?
Till, like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mind you, you know how old that tape is? It's like...
From 05, I think? Or 06?
I think it's even before that.
Wow.
It's like really old, dude. Like, I saw the tape. I would never vote for that guy. He grabbed girls by the pussy, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you read the transcript? I don't need to read the transcript. I sold the tape 1,000 times. Did you read the transcript? Did you read the transcript? Because if you read the transcript. Like, I'm sure you probably read the transcript. When you read the transcript, the man is literally talking about gold diggers. That's basically all he's saying. There's gold diggers out there. You got money. Man, you can do whatever you want with them. You can grab them by the pussy. If it's right or wrong, that's what he was saying. He wasn't saying he himself goes around groping chicks.
This was also a private conversation.
Right. In the locker room with men. You know what I mean?
And I love that after he won, the left called him like the grabber in chief. I think it's hilarious.
When you have a real grabber.
Right. It's like, dude, last time I checked, this guy never got in trouble for sexual assault. So I don't even know. Like, I didn't know you can get in trouble just for having a private conversation.
How about, like, all these women, he tried to rape me on an airplane, and this one, and all this.
None of that ever held up.
Dude, every single time he files countersuit, it's nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, everything's dropped. He wins, basically. You know what I mean? Here.
He is the Teflon Don.
Look at this. I mean, you just have countless amounts of video of this guy groping people.
And kids, too.
Kids. This is a child. Look at this. Jeff Sessions. You think you're getting near my granddaughter? You better get back, youngin'. You better get on the ground. Get the hell out of here.
It's just creepy, man.
It's a creep. Here's one. There's another one. Hold on. There's just countless, though. Here's another one. This is a guy's wife. This is Ash Carter's wife.
It's just a creepy way to behave.
Yeah. You know who she is, though. You see her on TV all the time telling you how wonderful the Democrats are and how they're definitely going to win.
Head of the Pentagon, right? Something
Yeah,
like that?
Ash Carter, yep. Defense Secretary, yep. I mean, there's another one. There's this a little kid. Oh, here we go. What's she, 14? Why is his hand there?
That's so
Why?
inappropriate.
This is the guy, but you're going to talk about you're going to talk about when he said, look, here we go.
So, the difference is with
Look at
Trump,
him. Look at her. She's horrified.
right?
This kid is horrified.
And the difference with Trump is that it's words.
Exactly.
We have tape of this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was exactly what I was gonna say is that, dude, we have the actual tape, this is who he is. This is him. This is C-SPAN footage. This is no doctor.
Right,
you know what I mean? This is C-SPAN. You know what I mean? And it's there.
For all intents and purposes, is neutral.
Right. It's all they're doing is literally shooting what's happening. These are confirmation hearings where that's from.
You get a bad egg here and there that's like on camera for them.
Right. But those are just the live press conferences. I mean, the live stream of confirmation hearings. Right. It's just there. So, that's why I wanted to mute it, because I don't care about what that idiot in the background is saying. He's also probably some guy that fucking, believes that no planes hit the Trade Center and that it was holograms. You know what I mean? Like the guy that made that video. But the fact of the matter the guy that took the C-SPAN stuff and put it there, he didn't make the fucking video, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's real. I'm sorry. So, I'm trying to explain, like, dude, you realize you're voting for the Chinese communists. A vote for Joe is a vote against America. At this point.
And first of all, you're not even voting for Joe, right?
You're voting for Kamala.
Right.
Who, did you hear about her body double?
I didn't,
hold on.
I'm willing to believe it.
Well, it's probably not on YouTube because Laura Loomer is not allowed to be on
you
YouTube.
Think she's got a chance to win her district?
She's allegedly ahead.
Her district is like West Palm Beach.
Yeah, but her district is like a D+12.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really possible or likely that she. Well, here we go. Laura Loomer catches Kamala Harris body double. Watch this.
This is unbelievable. And I like how it says she got caught.
Look. You hear? It's not Kamala, idiot.
By the way, folks, this is alleged, of course.
All right. Allegedly. Allegedly. Now, hold on.
That doesn't even look like her.
Yeah, but this, I don't know if somebody was doing this as a Halloween costume or if it's legitimate, but hold on.
But the Democrats are that creepy that they would do something.
But look at these people taking pictures with her as if she is real. Now, hold on. Watch this part. Now she's getting with these two people like this.
It's a fake Kamala Harris.
It's a fake Kamala Harris, bro. How many other real Kamala Harris? The real Kamala Harris, please. Wow, that's a great one. Dude, yeah. Anyway, so, here we go. There's another one. There's a bunch of these. Look at Dorsey, by the way. Did you see him? You're telling me that wasn't calculated?
Oh, yeah.
The way he looked in those hearings? Like when they had the hearings on Friday?
Why would he look like that?
Because now all we're talking about is what he looked like. You know what I mean? Dude, control the narrative. Give them something else to talk about. It's like Hillary doing dumb shit when, bombshells are coming out. Like, the cops are talking about how Wiener's laptop is so out of control. And the NYPD's hands it over to the FBI. If you don't reopen this case right now, we're coming in and we're dropping the hammer. So then they reopen the case on Hillary. Comey has no choice because he's fucked too. You know what I mean? He has no choice. He has to reopen the case to protect her. This is what people don't understand. I argue with people about this all the time. They're like, well, James...
It's like a reversal.
Right. They have this idea Comey gave the election to Trump. No, he didn't. Because if what was going to happen actually happened, it would have been 1,000 times worse. Right? It would have been the end of the establishment at that point. Comey has to reopen the investigation to protect her. So that's bombshell shit that NYPD detectives, literally the real Benson and Stabler, are out there telling people, hey, there's some crazy shit on this laptop. What is she doing? She's talking about making her deplorable statement. Or whatever she was doing that day.
Look over here.
Look over here, right? To forget about what's really going on in the background, and then that'll get all the press. This will get stuck on page 9, and nobody looks at it. And or that's their one tactic, and their other main tactic. These are their two tactics. That, and then when they know they're guilty of something, you accuse your opponent of doing exactly right. You project. You do it exactly, but you don't divert from the. You know what I mean? You don't like. You do. You tell them they're exactly what you did. Exactly what you did. You could Russian collusion, dude. You're clearly the ones in bed with the Russians. You know what I mean? Like nobody, Obama on the hot mic. Tell Vladimir I'll be able to ease up as soon as the election is over, quote unquote. This is what he says to fucking Medvedev.
And the other thing I was just going to say, what about when Obama made fun of Mitt Romney in the debate about Russia?
Oh, yeah. That's our biggest.
He's like, the 1980s cold. They want their foreign policy
They want their foreign policy back. Right. And then what?
Meantime, he's the one in bed with that.
Right. And then three short years later, he's out there opening investigations on Americans about who? About the Russians. Yeah, fuck you, man.
It's the hypocrisy. It's so crazy. That's why I say you got to be in a cult, even like to a certain extent with Republicans, because like no one hates a neocon more than me.
Oh God, dude, I hate. Ugh.
Well, I guess no one hates neocon more than Ryan Dawson.
I don't. Ryan Dawson hates them the most. I would say Scott Horton hates them the second most. I would say my cousin Mark hates them third. I would be number 4. And then you're number 5. I'm sorry, I just hate them more. I'm telling you.
You probably have a lot more knowledge than
I'm a mental patient sometimes. I'm a little crazy. And I have a list. They call it the Do the 25. Who would you do the 25 on? Like if I could get my hands on them. And I'm telling you, the top 5 on my Do the 25 list, I only have 5 people on. They're all neocons. Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Paul Wolfowitz, fucking Dov Zakheim, and the other guy who literally that was a teacher at University of Virginia. Oh my God, not Dov Zakheim. Was it that Dov Zakheim? That might be Dov Zakheim. Fuck. He was a teacher at University of Virginia. He literally was the underwriter of the 9/11 Commission. He literally wrote the report. There was no...
Was it a report or was it more like a convenient story?
Well, he wrote the story of it. Right. Like, he didn't... There was no, like, let's collect a bunch of evidence, put it all together, and see where it takes us. He wrote an outline. They handed out to the staffers that this is what we're going with, so you go find the information that fits this stuff. And then, the best part is...
So we're going to go backwards. We're going to do the conclusion first.
Right, and then find the evidence to support our idea here.
That's how an investigation
our case
should work.
Right, exactly.
That's not corrupt.
Well, that's exactly right. What did they do in the Mueller report? Again, they started with the conclusion, and then they went backwards to try to put together the story, which there was nothing to find.
Right.
And that's what they couldn't understand. How can this be? Rachel Maddow's brain's exploding on TV. I don't understand. But she's never even done that, though. That's the thing. Like, every night, bombshell, Trump revelations, Adam Schiff.
Bombshell if true.
Bombshell, right.
And the other thing, my boy Nick DiPaolo hammers, so he calls him the Adam's apple. He says it a lot, but he'll be like, nice haircut, Rachel. I had the same one in high school.
That's fucking funny.
He goes, he's like, one time I was watching MSNBC, he goes, I got so mad I wanted to reach through my screen and grab her by the fucking Adam's apple.
The long ass neck she has. Oh, that's
Apollo's the best. I love him. But
this is the thing, and Bongino, who always says this,
he's great too.
He's another. I don't ever write comments on people's shit like on YouTube and stuff. Like I don't really do that. I've done it a handful of times, or let's say 2 handfuls, and a handful of them have been on Bongino because he's very good on about 70% of stuff. But when it comes to foreign policy and Israel and the Middle East and Iran and anything that's going on outside of the United States, he's fucking clueless. And he's almost got neocon sort of tendencies in that manner. But he also is sort of an isolationist in the same way, which is like people out there wondering, how can you be a neocon and be an isolationist? Yeah. Well, he has, when I say neocon, I mean like Iran is bad, Russia's bad, but he also, China's bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's the real thing.
What country?
China. Came from China. He is so fucking funny, dude.
do me a favor if you can, for all the listeners out there that may not exactly know what a neocon is. Like, how would you define that term?
I would begin with a Trotskyite. I mean, you were Leon Trotsky. Had obviously you had Lenin and Trotsky, who were the leaders of the Bolshevik Revolution. So in creation of the Soviet Union, and then eventually Trotsky got 86th, and it went full Leninist. But a Trotskyite, he had a couple of his students because he was living in the United States. Leon Strauss and a couple other guys. Bill Kristol's father's one of them. And then they went on to teach foreign policy and, international diplomacy at the, Chicago, University of Chicago. And their belief was that America, after destroying the Soviet Union, that America was the last, world superpower, and it was time for them to not only be that on paper, when people say it, but be that on paper. Like, now we're gonna just control shit. We're gonna run shit, but it's under the guise of American imperialism, but it's really an Israel first foreign policy. That's really what it comes down to. Whereas you're gonna use the American military and the American might to basically,
So basically,
subvert all of Israel's enemies.
Never-ending wars.
Never-ending war, right? There's no end game. The end game is, well, I mean, the famous paper was Wesley Clark. General Wesley Clark comes out and says,
people hate Trump so much they don't even recognize how anti-war he is.
He's the first president that I could remember. I'm telling you, if you go back, I think it's maybe like McKinley or somebody like Grover Cleveland. The first president that a new war has not started under him. I'm telling you, in a long ass time, dude.
I believe that.
Because even Jimmy Carter, people like, I would say Jimmy Carter can be there, but the Mujahideen, all that shit, that started under Carter. So,
did anything start under Ford, or he wasn't really there?
Nam. I mean, Laos. Then you had the stuff in Central America when Bush was the fucking CIA director.
So Nixon really campaigned under getting us out of Vietnam.
He did.
What happened? Like, it just wasn't as easy as he thought.
He did, but no, he had Heinrich Kissinger. Excuse me, Mr. President. And those guys where, okay, we're going to draw down in Vietnam, but we're going to bomb the shit out of Laos and fucking Burma and Cambodia. You know what I mean? Because now they got the Golden Triangle, dude. It's always about drug movement. It's never really about fucking...
We got to protect those poppy fields, right?
Right. First mission in Afghanistan, Geraldo Rivera. You know what I mean? Like, he's there on the ground saying, well, the U.S. troops right now, they're securing the routes to get the poppy farmers to market. What? Everybody's like, what? What the fuck was that? And nobody really paid attention to what he really said. But, yeah, that's what he said. But, yeah, so that, like a neocon, and then you have your prominent neocons. They really came into...
And then just in terms of domestic policy, a neocon, I always say, like, they're for open borders because you want the cheap labor.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty on board with, like, anti-Second Amendment.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't care. Yeah. They're probably anti-Second Amendment. They're definitely open border types.
Anti-Second Amendment for the citizens, not for themselves.
Not for themselves. Oh, yeah, because they're elitists. Right. Every neocon is an elitist. Right. They're going to live on their special island and their special palace and... be protected with fucking... You can't... Go Google fucking... Here, I'll do it. Donald Rumsfeld's house. You can't find it. You can't get to it. There's no directions. It's literally on an island off the coast of California. It's fucking crazy shit. Donald Rumsfeld's house. I mean, I don't know if it's still possible to do it, but he used to be living off a fucking coast in California and shit. But... And, another thing, too, with neocons is they're always going to go to, like... There's no neocon that went to fucking Rutgers.
Right. Right. Harvard.
They all went to fucking Georgetown. On the low side, they went to
Skull and Bones.
Right. They went to fucking Georgetown. Like, that would be, like, what they settled for. But their most prominent... I would say, I don't want to say most prominent, but what they're best known for is PNAC, right there. Project for the New American Century. It was established in 97
For some reason, that's not showing up on the TV, bro.
What the fuck?
Do you have to change the window of the browser or something? Because your mouse cursor is moving.
What the hell?
So it's weird. I can see what you're doing with the mouse.
Why is it stuck like that? That's very weird.
Can you go back to the YouTube screen?
I closed everything out just now. Huh.
That's bizarre. Do you know what we're talking about?
Let me see something. All right. Let's try it now. Maybe it's just like a second or two behind. Yeah. That's really what it is.
And some people really don't follow me because I have other shows where I talk about, like, I do hate Republicans. I don't hide from the fact I'm a registered Republican, but I mention I hate a lot of Republicans too.
Oh, I despise the majority of them.
Right, and this is what I'm talking about.
What the fuck?
I'm talking about neocons, and shout out to Jack Tittle if he's going to be watching this. He thinks I try to hide from the fact I'm a Republican. I don't, but I'm very. I don't know what the proper term to describe me, conservatarian, like
right.
Andrew Wilkow says or whatever.
I like that. Conservatarian. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Because true conservatism has nothing to do with the neocon side of the Republicans.
Absolutely.
People think you're conservative. It means like, you don't let your wife go out and she stays home and cooks dinner every night for the kids. Like, that's not what it means. It means you're trying to conserve what the founding fathers did, which is hence the term conservatism.
Right. That's what a conservative is. It's just like the same thing, though, with, with the term liberal. Like, that's been totally fucking hijacked as well. But it's only, like, the neocons only got into the conservative movement because it was available for them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Reagan was such an anti-communist. And he was just, we're going to build up this fucking military and, we're going to.
Through strength.
Right.
Which I don't have a problem with. I know, like, the left is very anti-big military. I mean, I'm anti-police state and using the military against the citizens. But I have no problem with a bigger military.
I don't have a problem with having a big military. What I always say is like, what I have a problem with, here we go. All right. What I have a problem with is the military overseas and all these foreign bases. Yes. If I went to fucking Sandy Hook or went to the beach, and then I saw some goddamn aircraft carriers off in the distance and a couple submarines and like the 6th Naval Fleet is out there literally protecting the border like back in World War II style. When you're worried about the U-boats coming and beating up the coastline, I got no problem with that. Like, why do we have a need for the border patrol? That's the fucking military's job.
Right.
The way I look at it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And not to say, like, we need to live in this world with these barbed wire fences on the border, but at this point, with just where we've become so wide open, maybe that's what we fucking do need that on that side of the border. But point being is, like, we don't have a Department of Defense anymore. You know what I mean? It used to be called
I don't know what you mean.
It was because back before, Roosevelt and his crafty ways, and he kind of spun this down to Truman, and that's when the deceptors really took over the government, was post FDR and into Truman and then into Eisenhower, and that's where they really started to come around. But like when they used to be called the Department of War. You know what I mean? So it had a much more scary name to it. You know what I mean? Like a Department of War. Then it was the Department of Defense.
It wasn't supposed to be like what's the word I'm looking for? A permanent thing, right?
No, it wasn't. But we always had, like, if you read World War I General, the name of the book is War is a Racket. Written by goddamn. It's going blank all of a sudden, but I've read it like fucking 3 times. Anyway, he talks about how wars for profit were beginning back then with the banana wars and shit. Ryan Dawson cites a lot of his stuff. But But yeah, that was under the Department of War, and he talks about that flip from Department of War. It was supposed to be, there was always going to be, but it was going to be minimal. You were going to have like a Navy.
Well, I heard the income tax was supposed to be temporary.
That was supposed to be temporary too.
And I thought tolls were supposed to be temporary. Fucking bridges.
This is what I always say about people, and this is my biggest thing with the masks. Do you think they made you put them on?
That's not going to end anytime soon.
Have they ever made you do something like temporarily had a change and then changed it back? It never happened ever before.
You know what I'm saying? Masks are. I'm saying they're the 2020 version of the TSA. It's not going to go away.
Exactly.
It's another right they've taken away from us.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
The right to not wear a mask has been taken away.
I couldn't agree more. And the reason it's never going to change, and you're going to be right, is because
they don't like to give you freedoms back.
Because the fucking media, though, really, though, even if Trump wins and we have a president that is against the mask, because he's clearly not pro-mask, you know what I mean?
Well, you certainly shouldn't be federalized.
Right.
All the left wants to do is centralize fucking everything.
Exactly. And another thing I like banter with people about is, like, oh, well, Trump's COVID response was so blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? But if he did things from the federal level, you would have been the first ones out there screaming, He's a fascist, he's totalitarian, he's consolidated power. Right. So what did he do?
Heads I win, tails you lose.
What did he do? He did things the constitutional way. He left it up to the governors. Okay, I'm going to let you guys.
He let the 50 states govern
themselves, which is what we're supposed to do.
And he gave them assistance as required.
Right, and more times than not as requested. You know what I mean? Like, as requested, and it's not his fault that Uncle Joe, Sleepy Joe, Scranton Kid.
The Scranton Scrapper.
The Scranton Scrapper. The King of Delaware.
Versus the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Seriously, this is like fucking Barry Horowitz going out there to fuck with Ricky Steamboat. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about, dude? And this guy depleted the entire fucking stockpiles of masks, fucking ventilators, and all those suits they needed. All that nonsense that they needed in the beginning of COVID was all the stockpiles were depleted under Barack. He didn't. Yeah, okay, he allocated the funds for the restock, but did he ever back check it? Did he ever follow up with Andrew Cuomo or any of these guys? Like, hey, man, I know I sent you fucking $500 million to buy a bunch of masks and fucking buy a bunch of masks and your friggin' ventilators. Did you do it?
Speaking of ventilators.
No, the money vanished.
How many fucking ventilators did King Cuomo request?
Seriously.
And how many were needed?
And amazing, when they stopped using the ventilators in the treatment process, people stopped dying. Isn't that amazing? Like, doesn't that blow your fucking mind? They're putting all these people in the hospital with a virus that is affecting their breathing, and they're putting them on a breathing machine, breathing in and out. They weren't using the proper ventilators in the beginning, too. There was a nurse that wrote a whole thing about this, that she came up here to volunteer, not to volunteer, but to work, because in New York they were in such a need. Right. They were in such need of nurses, and they needed all this shit. And she came up here, and she never left the fucking hotel except for 2 days. And she went into the hotel, and she saw the way that they were being treated, that the patients were being treated, and how they were being put on the totally the wrong kind of ventilator, where they were breathing in and out their own air the whole time. And that's why the bodies were dropping, and that's why the death count flew up. I mean, I am kind of jumping to conclusions, but if that's happening there, it's probably happening everywhere else. Majority of deaths came out of New York, New Jersey, Washington, California.
Right.
And people were prohibited from saying anything on the inside. Like, she talks about this when she did the write-up, about how, like, people were scared because they were either going to lose their jobs, get terminated, either lose their jobs, get suspended, lose rank. It was a top-down policy. So who was dictating to the fucking presidents of these hospitals on how to treat these people? And then people weren't going to.
It's all Trump's fault.
It was all Trump. Trump was the one that called Cuomo and said, Cuomo, put them in the fucking nursing home, will you? That's what he said, right? Isn't that what fucking Cuomo said? Cuomo said he never did that.
And by the way, the assistance that Trump gave with that big ship and
never used it.
Didn't he set something up in Central Park and there were like 5 people that ended up like needing it.
Yeah. And then, dude, I think they were there. There was like 30 people that went onto the ship, and they were only there for like a day or something. They never came. They never even used it. And then a lot of people were thinking, okay, maybe they're going to use the ships for the other kind of patients that weren't COVID, designate the hospitals for COVID, which is what they ended up doing. So then they were putting people on the ships that were going to hospitals with other illnesses. And they left the hospitals open for COVID. And nobody even went on the fucking ships. Nobody, there were room. It was a joke, dude. I'm sorry, man. It's all media hype. So same thing with the mask, though. Like, if you have
Obey.
Right? Oh, exactly. Yeah. You have an anti-mask president or whatever you want to call him. I'm just saying he's sort of on the same road as I am, where it's like herd immunity is the only way to really like get through this shit and get back to a sense of normality.
I don't think it's so much anti-mask as it is wear one if you want to wear one if it makes you feel safe.
Right, but don't get in people's faces like last week I was in the liberal stronghold of fucking Massachusetts, Boston, Mass, bruh.
What were you doing there?
I was eating chowder. Fucking guys, I was eating chowder with Noma. No, I was up there for I don't know, just to get away for a couple of days.
I hear you.
But
Before it gets too cold.
They had legal weed and Sam Adams and fucking Paul Revere, so whatever.
Not a bad trip.
Yeah, and they really do have fantastic fantastic food in Boston, man. They really do, and they make good espresso martinis.
I've been there many times, but I was always too poor to really enjoy it.
It's a good place.
I was there a lot. My college girlfriend went to Northeastern.
It's not, I drove past there. But it's I like it. Outside of the people, I like it.
Outside of the people, yeah.
But I mean, like, because I'm not kidding. This was my experience. We parked the car in front of the hotel.
These are the people that elect Pocahontas to office.
Seriously.
Every 6 years.
My first, we walked out of the hotel.
And they also elected Mitt Romney as their governor.
They also Willard. Willard was their Republican. Scott Walker. Willard, Mitt Romney. John Kerry. Fucking Pocahontas.
I thought our politics were bad here in Jersey.
No, I mean, dude, we're way more corrupt than them, though. Come on.
We are, but...
They're just more rule followers up there. We just are just bandits. They're bandits down here. You're a politician in New Jersey. You're a bandit. Fucking, like, we leave the hotel. We're going to go for a while. The first thing we see is like 500 peaceful protesters coming up the street.
I just want to make a quick point. Tell me there's no such thing as gerrymandering. How come my district, District 11, is in the same district as Clifton and Bloomfield? What kind of sense does that make?
That makes no sense. Why?
How is that not gerrymandering?
Why are his... Dude, that was on the ballot again. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was about the census?
Yeah.
About the... Yeah. Huh. Come on, dude. But with gerrymandering, though, both sides do it.
So, like, this District 11 is pretty much all of Morris County and parts of Sussex County.
Which makes no sense.
And then it bleeds into Caldwell, Bloomfield, and Clifton. Can you please explain that to me? And it doesn't even bleed... Oh, and parts of Montclair. And it doesn't even bleed into, like, the whole towns or cities in Essex County.
Just pieces.
Right. But just enough.
Where it's going to always stay blue.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Well, look, I mean, you have... What do you have in Clifton and Parsippany? This is East Hanover or Parsippany? I don't know.
This Parsippany.
Anywhere.
Yeah. But Morris County's pretty fucking red.
For the most part.
Overall.
Right. But then the way the lines have been redrawn,
right.
The red stays red, the blue stays blue, and nothing ever changes. That's how it stays. You know what I mean? Like.
But this seat, District 11 seat, has been red for like the last 30 years until Mikey Sharrow.
Until the new. Right.
Who came out of nowhere. She's not even from this
She's fucking CIA, bro. She's in the CIA. She's an agent, dog.
But dude, I don't even think she lives in this district.
I don't know where she lives, bro. She's.
But she came out of nowhere. She was a nobody.
Nobody heard of her. She was planted by the agency. Man.
I don't disbelieve that. But wait, but you're not District 11, right?
No, I'm same as Mickey Sherrill's district.
So you're. All right, can you explain to me why we live in the same district if you still live where you grew up? We shouldn't be in the same
No,
district.
I live in Morristown.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not... Yeah.
I actually did not sleep. I just learned something new again.
Yeah, no, I moved up there a while ago. No, down there, I don't even know.
Oh, because you were really out in the sticks, right? For a little while? Or am I... maybe I'm thinking
no,
something else.
hold on.
Well, I thought your girl was out in the sticks.
No, she works in Warren.
That's what I was thinking of.
Look at this. World Socialist website. What the fuck is this, bro? Here, in the course, large CIA Democrats. Here you go. Well, this coming from the World Socialist fucking platform, but I'm telling you, dude, she was one of them. There was a bunch of CIA people that went in, ex-CIA.
Now, I am interested to see what happens because 2 years ago wasn't a general election. It was just a midterm election. So I am curious to see with people voting down ballot because the turnout for a general is way more than a midterm.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious to see because we have enough registered Republicans to win that district if they all turn out and show up and vote down ballot.
Right. Well,
so I'm curious to see what kind of impact that has.
I don't find it any way possible. Like, I think there's more of a chance that people would vote Democrat top, Republican down than there would of people revoting Republican top and Democrat down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the way this is why I'm so like not fearful, but I'm just the impact of what's going to happen at the beginning of the apocalypse tomorrow, and just the long-term ramifications of it for us as a constitutional republic are I can't emphasize it
My
enough.
whole thing is I just don't understand how all these states change the rules as you go.
I know
you can't do that.
And another thing too is the Supreme Court. Why are they picking winners and losers? Like, if you're setting
what Roberts did last week with Pennsylvania is a fucking disgrace.
This is what I don't know.
That was last week, right?
Yeah.
His ruling.
But the first ruling before that in Wisconsin ruled the other way. So why?
Was in the Wisconsin state level, or was that also?
No, they both.
Supreme Court.
The first one went all the way up to the Supreme Court, which was the precedent set, which would people like. I guess on my side or whatever, we're thinking like, okay, now at least this is gonna, trickle down in every state with the same suit. It's gonna be precedent was set in Wisconsin that there can be no more ballots coming in after Election Day. Like, that's it. And then all of a sudden he rules differently in North Carolina, and he ruled then Pennsylvania was a different deadline. Dude, it should just be
one uniform.
That's it. Like, what changed in I don't understand why the opinion would change. And then the state's changing the rules as they go. Like, I feel like they're literally trying, obviously, I mean, it's obvious. They've emptied the playbook. Every single asset has been deployed, and everything's up. This is it, man. This is it. They've emptied it all because this is for their survival.
They're showing all their cards.
Yeah, when I say they, I'm talking about
they're all in.
The clique, the John McCain, John Kerry, even though John McCain's allegedly dead, the John McCain.
Wait a minute. Let's dig deeper on that one.
The John McCain.
Did you ever see Tim Dillon as Meghan McCain?
No, I never seen it. It's hysterical.
Dude,
hold on.
It's only a minute. It is fucking hilarious on YouTube. I'm a big Tim Dillon fan lately. I know, like, Joe Rogan is like his new boyfriend, but Joe Rogan, I think, boosted him up a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
But he's actually really funny.
Oh, I have seen this before. I didn't know this was him, though.
Yeah.
Oh, this shit is Oh, please. Your father's a fucking traitor. It was a gentleman. Remember bomb Iran, John McCain? This guy really did that for real. And this is talk about a presidential candidate? Come on, bro. Come on, man.
He goes, "You want these tits, Trump? You don't want these tits. You want to go suck dick." Then he goes, "I'm going to dig up daddy and fuck daddy." He's fucking funny, man. He just kind of tells it like it is. I don't agree with all his views and opinions, but he's entertaining enough that I could sit through them. And most importantly, he's just funny. He's pretty smart.
He is. You know what? He wasn't bad, dude.
He's a good mix of smart and funny.
He is. He's all right. I don't.
He's tweeted out Saturday night. He goes, "I just barricaded myself in my house for the upcoming apocalypse."
Look how many videos there are of just John McCain saying bomb Iran. But
That's insane.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, this is the kind of Republican that I always hated. I always used to say that earlier. I said, if we can just honestly purge the Republican Party of the Mike Huckabees and the John McCains and the fucking Mitt Romneys and the Paul Ryans and the John Boners, and get actual patriotic Americans in there, and then I started to realize, I'm like, fuck, the Jeff Flakes. Well, most of these guys are gone.
That guy's a real fucking piece of shit.
What a piece of garbage. But most of those guys are gone.
A lot of them did get purged out.
So it is
in the first term.
But we do have a problem still with fucking Mitch McConnell still there. We got to get him the fuck out.
The thing with McConnell, though, I agree with you, but he plays ball when there's pressure.
Oh no, he's always going to stick up for the Republicans. Like, at the end of the day, he's gonna do what he's got to do. But he's still just, look at that guy. That guy cannot be the guy. Like, our top guy outside of the White House can't be him.
I don't know. Like, to me, like, the good guys are like your Ted Cruz's, your Rand Pauls, obviously.
It's Rand, man.
I think Mike Lee's a pretty good guy.
Mike Lee's all right
from Utah.
But like,
Tim Scott from Florida? I think is a pretty good guy.
I like Massey. I like Matt Gaetz.
Okay, so in the House, Matt Gaetz is cool.
Massey.
Jim Jordan's great.
Jim Jordan's good. He came out of nowhere.
In my opinion, be the minority
the whip.
leader in the House.
The leader, yeah, he should. Well, but it's actually not Steny Hoyer. I forget who the guy. Walter Jones, maybe.
Crenshaw obviously is a good one.
He's all right. He's another one though. He's all right though, but he's not.
The liberals love him. I don't know why.
Well, I'm pro-war party now, man. You know, he's another one. Never met a country he wouldn't bomb.
Joe Rogan loves him.
Yeah, he sells it. He sells the idea pretty well. But you know, I always was thinking, like, if we can just get rid of these guys, Libertarians can take over the party from within.
That's what I would like to.
And that's the only way to do it.
So there's things that like the hardcore libertarians don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is you're never going to win under that banner.
No. And I went.
You have to infiltrate the Republican Party if you want any chance.
That's the only way. And they don't understand this. And like, when you go to one of these meetings, like, I've went to them, like, for the New Jersey.
I have too. It's a joke.
Dude, it's a joke. Like, they had this one meeting in this restaurant down in fucking, I don't know where we were.
I probably was at the same place, not at the same time, but I went with a couple of my buddies to one of those things.
Yeah, it was like out in no man's land, friggin'
and it was
Southwest Jersey.
It was so unorganized.
It was like they had this back room of this restaurant. Was
it upstairs?
Had
it go like upstairs?
I don't think it was upstairs. I think it was like just in like the back room, and it was like a private room or whatever. And there was just like random people, but like the way, I don't want to say it's like, I don't want to judge people by the way they look, but you saw the people that were there, and like, dude, I get it, dude. I understand. Like, you're highly principled in your beliefs, but the idea that you're going to hang that flag and gain traction and actually get somewhere, like on a national level, is absurd. You need, the problem is they're so principled and they're so stuck to their core beliefs of fucking Murray Rothbard and shit, and that's all they want to cite and go to, and they don't understand, like, you need to get people from all different, like, political backgrounds.
You need to get disgruntled Democrats, you need to get disgruntled
Those are the people you could flip.
And you need, and independents, I think, would go for libertarian very easily.
Right, because when you see a lot of these, people that take these political surveys and the line tests and whatever, the majority of people who identify as independent actually come up on the graph as as libertarians, even though they're considered independents, because that
was my gateway into politics, more or less.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because you're anti-tax, you're anti-war.
Small government.
Right. Well, people, but like, yeah, people.
Your boy Kane ran as a libertarian. Well, no, I'm sorry. He ran as a Republican, but we all know he's a libertarian.
Who?
In reality.
Oh, Kane, yeah.
Glenn Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, he won. There you go. That's prime example. And he won.
The mayor of Knox County.
He fucking won. He won. Right. So that's Ron Paul.
And I heard he's doing a really good job.
Yeah, he's like fucking doing the impossible out there, this guy. Dude, he used to do promos on this one libertarian station I used to listen to, because Scott Horton, it was at some station out of New Hampshire, but Scott Horton's show would be live on it, and he would cut the commercials in in the middle of it, and you would hear like, "Hey, it's me, WWE star Glenn Jacobs." And like, oh fucking Kane, there he is. But
Gonna go race some Kane.
you look at like people. If you ask, just like I do this a lot with people, I'm like, would you rather pay more money or less money in taxes? They always say less. Okay.
But there's people that hate Trump so much they're willing to have their taxes go up to get Trump.
Oh yeah. Well, they're so. Oh man. They don't care.
The thing that annoys me too with his tax, it's not the greatest tax plan in the world, but it benefits more people than it doesn't. But I understand why people are pissed off about their tax deductions, but be pissed off at the state and local.
Right, because they're the ones that
They're the ones that are corrupt and make your taxes so high that they can't get deducted like they used to.
Right, and that's
just my opinion.
I agree.
And this is coming from a guy it doesn't affect because I don't own a house.
Mm-hmm.
But the state and the property taxes in the state are so out of control.
It's absurd.
It's a state level problem, and people conflate that with a federal level problem.
Absolutely, and the federal problem is the problem. It's the whole problem to me comes back to like simple, basic shit. It's like states get funded because guys go to they're in lockup. The amount of days that guy, whatever, is there driving on a suspended or whatever, waiting a fucking hearing. He's in there for 10 days. The feds are paying the state $150, $200 a day for this guy to be locked up. Like that whole system there, the way that all works. I know that it's too big now to fail, literally, to break up government in that sense. But that's your issue, and it's like, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Why do we have a Department of Transportation? There should be no road work department. It shouldn't exist. It should be fixed once.
Maybe to a certain extent for interstate.
Right, but do the fucking Germans have it? No, because their goddamn roads are paved once the right way, and there's no potholes, so they don't have to fill the fucking potholes.
Speaking of that topic of things being federalized, a lot of people don't realize that the Department of Education is only from 1979.
Right, it's new.
And that's when our numbers in terms of education results started going into the shitter.
Yeah, and nobody can make that correlation ever. Like, what? Why is it so?
I would like to see Trump start abolishing some of these departments.
Oh God, that would be the first one I blew up. I'm not kidding. After the FBI, obviously, which is a failed institution, it cannot be trusted. It does not do its job when it's supposed to. It's out of control. It's hard. It's a horrible institution. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's some hardworking FBI guys out there that actually
as Sean Hannity says, I'm not talking about the rank and file people.
Right. I mean,
people at the top.
But yeah, there's people that join the FBI with good intentions, but those people that rise to the cream of the crop, those people, first off, let's talk about that. They all have law degrees, bro. Every one of them.
Right.
So they're just lawyers that got into the FBI. So they're really lawyers. Those bureaucratic spots. It's a failed institution. It's always kind of sort of been a failed institution. It's going back to the fucking disgusting J. Edgar Hoover. But the thing with Hoover is he still cared about America. As fucking, even though his views were wrong about like infiltrating, King's movement and infiltrating Malcolm X and, taking down the American Communist Party and all this shit that he did, was it right or wrong? But he did it in the notion of literally benefiting the country. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's right that he had dossiers on fucking Bobby Kennedy and JFK and all this shit. But he was so fucking nuts that he thought they really were communists, I guess.
And speaking of institutions that were supposed to be temporary, wasn't the CIA supposed to be temporary?
I don't know. Some people say that. But it wasn't supposed to be what it is now. It was just supposed to be an easier way it was just supposed to be what it says, Central Intelligence Agencies. It was supposed to be a place where you could appoint people from the 4 military branches, from their intelligence agencies there, and then be able to share information easier and to work internationally and not domestically. Whereas clearly that charter's total bullshit. They've been working domestically the whole time. They're currently, John Brennan was running a fucking operation against the goddamn duly elected president of the United States. I mean, this was fucking really happening. And Rachel Maddow.
But if you hate Trump, it's okay.
Yeah, it's good. Go out there and vote for the Scranton kid.
We're about to hit the 1 hour mark. I know you're limited on time tonight.
Damn.
But
we're going to have to continue this.
do you have any final words before the apocalypse tomorrow? Before day
The apocalypse. All right.
Apocalypse.
Just in case I get thrown into the camp. For real. Not joking. People like me, man, like, she said it. Hillary said it. Like, they would have to be re-educated. The Alex Jones and his followers would have to be re-educated. Now, I do listen to Jones for comedic value.
That's such a scary thing to say.
But
and to hear from
dude,
someone in a position of power.
All I'm saying is this. Tomorrow literally determines it in the most literal sense. It determines either the death,
the beginning of the end.
Right. It's either the death of the constitutional republic or the revival of the constitutional republic. Because the Trump second term, he can go caught. You know what I mean? He can run roughshod over these motherfuckers. Right. He's got nothing to worry about. And what I was saying earlier about
you could take the ball and just fucking run with
right.
it.
And the down ticket flip was what I was talking about earlier. Is that I really think that if Biden wins the general, I think that there's a fucking fairly good chance that they keep the House.
Congress.
Huh?
What you're saying is there's a chance it'll be like Obama's second term where he had no Congress.
Well, no, I think he's going to have everything.
You think so? You think either
Trump
wins outright?
I think whatever side wins,
they're going to take both chambers.
I think well, I don't know about the House. I don't know about the Republicans can get the House because that's so fixed. I don't know if they can. They'd have to be huge for them too.
Well, like I said, the difference between 2018 and 2020 is 2018 was a midterm, so those turnouts are not nearly as big
right.
as a general. And in general elections, a lot of people do vote down ballot for their party of choice.
Yeah, and this is a base election, so
it is. Yeah.
If whatever side gets the majority of their base out there, that's the side that's going to win. And I don't care, man. I think that I really do that. I think that if Biden wins the presidency, I think maybe we might keep the Senate. But if he wins the presidency, he's definitely getting the House, and most likely the Senate up to 90.
There's a lot of Senate seats on the line.
Right, election. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Senate seats on the line. So if Trump wins,
and a lot of those incumbents with seats on the line are Republicans.
And there are a lot of shitty Republicans too.
Boy, Lindsey Graham is not doing well.
He sucks, bro.
In terms of funding, he's getting outfunded like 10 to 1.
Yeah, I know. They're just hoping that it holds serve. But if you look at Trump, I mean, and he wins that side, I mean, if he wins at the top, people are going to probably pull the whole line for him. I mean, you might have a couple people in certain spots that don't, but like, if he wins, we got a chance of taking back. If we can close the gap in the House close enough, keep the Senate, have Trump with the Supreme Court, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Not talking about in an executive way. I'm saying he can actually take these criminals out. Yeah. He can take them out because
lawfully.
The evidence is there. We've seen it. We've seen some of it. So if that's what we've seen, we know there's more behind it. He can do it. If it's not, if Biden wins, it's like none of this ever happened.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. We go right back into the 30-year plan that began with fucking those towers. You know what I mean? We go right back to it. And then I think by the end of a 2-term Biden administration,
we're done. Well, he's not going to be alive that long.
No, I'm just talking about you know what I mean? Yeah. He ain't even going to be alive at the end of the first year. You know what I mean? When you're making up words and you got to be helped off the stage by your buddy Barack there, and you missed your cue 3 times. Come on, dude. He ain't making it.
What did Obama say a couple months ago about Joe? He said, "Don't underestimate Joe's ability to fuck this up." I don't know how that got leaked, but he said.
Where did that come from?
People talked about.
Yeah, that was out there.
I even think Joe Rogan talked about that.
Yeah. Don't underestimate Joe's ability to fuck this up. Well,
dude, I don't want to keep you here. I know you got places to go, things to do,
I wish I could stay, though. But we'll do it maybe
hopefully you can come back
next Monday.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'd like to do this. I don't know if you could do it every fucking
I would love to do it every Monday.
Yeah, if you could. Mondays are great for me.
Only because today's just a bit of a fuck up.
I hear you. All right,
bro.
Thanks for
stay black. Vote Trump.
Joey Diaz. Shout out to the great
Joey Coco Diaz. Cocksuckers.
All right, guys.
Jersey's finest.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace the fuck out, and stay safe in more ways than one. Stay safe for the apocalypse, folks. We'll see you next time on the Juice Giorgio Show.